So I really hate every single word that he just said.
This is what I like about this conversation. Earlier you said I liked how that one white lady was pinned down. So I'm pinning you down now. Define it for me.
They're not playing with Serena.
Why are we not?
Her husband not playing with her.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, come on, man. They emphasize so much. Like, oh, we got to be big, strong, black, and independent.
Emphasis on big.
There's a
You're now listening
to the Shameless Goat.
The Shameless Goats.
The Shameless Goat.
The WNBA is rocking. What could we have more? I mean, I just think, from a salary standpoint, it'd be great for the women to be able to make more money. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work. I think I saw something that said, like, one player that makes maybe $12 million on the NBA team could cover the whole WNBA salary.
Yeah, that's insane.
So that's kind of like crazy. And again, we're what, 26 years young, so it's not like we're comparing ourselves to the NBA, but I do feel like the pay gap would be something that, we could just take a donation around the NBA maybe one night y'all don't go to the casino.
I beg your pardon.
All right, before we get to Buddy's response, welcome back to Shameless Ghosts. We got Mike here, Kenny here, Peter here, and myself.
Yo.
That was Lisa Leslie, world famous WNBA legend, Hall of Famer, who was speaking about the pay disparity between the men's game and the women's game. And we have a gentleman here with a response.
The NBA always supports the WNBA. The WNBA has lost about $600 million. And the only reason they still exist is because the NBA just gives them money. Remember when Luka tried to support the WNBA by wearing one of their jerseys, and then the official Twitter page for the Minnesota Lynx tried to call him out for not going to any of the games? Look, I'm here to tell you, ain't nobody been to any of the games. I'm from Minnesota, and I didn't even know we had a team. If I had a choice between a $100 bill and the best WNBA team in the country, I would choose the $100 bill, because at least with the $100 bill, I would actually make some money. Remember when Andre Iguodala tried to support the WNBA by complimenting one of the players on the Mystics? She replied by saying, "Put some respect on my name or keep this tweet to yourself." Imagine being condescending and then asking for a percentage of somebody's paycheck. Be grateful. You get paid $200,000 a year to put a ball in a net. Cheer up, it ain't that bad.
All right, that's Buddy's take on the pay differences between the men's and women's game. What do y'all think about?
Man, I agree. It's begging at this point. It's giving. I'm broke. I need help. I need money. I don't know. Unfortunately, I think that's where we are in society. Women just begging for shit.
Damn, tough.
Damn, you go from WNBA to women begging for shit.
I don't know if she was begging like, "Hey, give us money."
There's a part of it where she's saying that later on in the conversation, she's like, if you take like some of the NBA players, their allowance or what they spend on gambling or going to the casino, instead of you guys spending that money in the club one night, just pay our salaries. Excuse me?
But that's their money. They can go to the club.
Excuse me, it's pocket watching. It's entitlement.
Yeah, man, that of course she can't. I don't agree with that. Obviously, like, you can't take somebody money, but I don't know if she necessarily begging, but I think she's speaking about the gap. Like, it's a huge gap. Like, I'm gonna even look up the average salary. I think for an NBA player is $8 million.
No, it got to be higher than that. Average
for the NBA, you said?
For the NBA, yeah.
Nah, it's probably higher than that. $8 million. That's probably a low end salary.
Even if it is, but still, who watches WNBA?
I think that's the problem. I think the problem is people aren't watching it. People aren't going to the game, so they're not commanding that kind of money, that kind of revenue.
All right, I got it. The average NBA player makes $5 million a year. Average WNBA $130,000.
Be grateful.
Which means the NBA player makes 41 times the average.
Be grateful.
I think it's different to say be grateful. I think versus
that's a big ass gap, dog.
Yeah, that's a big gap.
I mean,
but why is there a gap? You don't just say it. Identify the reason why there's a big gap.
There's a lot.
Yeah, I think for sure it's just people not going to the games. People are not supporting the games like
they don't make money.
They don't make money because people are not supporting the games. Yeah.
So how do you expect to get money if you're not making money? I mean, marketing sucks. I mean,
it's not even just marketing, bro. People don't
care
about
watch women playing basketball.
Women don't care about women playing basketball.
Women don't care about.
They never made a profit the whole time they had. I mean, I know it's 26 years, and I just looked it up. The NBA is 76 years. Right. I don't know. Maybe the NBA. What if the NBA never was profitable until you're 50?
I don't even think it's that. I think it's just really as
No
simple
one
as
cares about.
women.
They got to build up their brand.
Women are not supporting the NBA. Excuse
And
me,
women
the
are-
WNBA.
And women,
If women supported the WNBA like they supported the NBA, the WNBA would make a lot more money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it really just comes down to that.
But then, all right. So how do you explain that? WNBA. I agree with that. But all right, let's do a little thing. Who's the most famous tennis player in the world?
As far as I know, Serena Williams.
Serena. We all agree it's Serena.
Right.
Serena last year made $46 million. A lot of money. Roger Federer made 84.
Ooh.
I mean, so now it's not even about like, because if Serena's on TV, I'm gonna watch, and I don't even watch tennis. I'm gonna just watch because she on there.
Right.
The fact that this nigga made twice as much as Serena.
Roger
Last
Federer
year.
is talented, though.
Don't get me
he
wrong.
is talented.
Roger Federer is the man. He's, he was one of the best players ever. But right now he's 40, 3 years old.
He's over his prime.
Right.
I think at the end of the day, it's who wants to be watched. Or excuse me, who do people want to watch is what I mean.
Serena Williams.
yeah, Serena Williams.
Serena Williams.
That's who we want to watch.
No,
but
I'm
that's
sure
the
it's
world,
Serena over
you think that's
Roger.
the world?
That's the word, yeah.
So you think around the world, Serena Williams is more famous than Roger Federer?
Yes.
I would agree.
I'm
I would
saying
say
so.
so.
But
yes.
how would you know that, and how could you quantify that?
Well, Roger Federer don't have no fucking movie. I don't know. That's number one.
See, I think the problem with the conversation that we having, we just for black people in the for black world.
We are, but she's a household name.
And I'm not saying that she is or isn't. I don't know. Is my point.
But
I don't know, and I don't know how you guys would know.
Because we can identify household names, like you said. I mean, we know that Beyonce is more famous than Chris Brown all over the world. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
we
those
know.
are still two black people. But what if there's white artists that I know that we cannot name that are incredibly famous?
Sure.
Right. So how do we know that Roger Federer is not more famous, or what he does just does not command?
We all watch the same channels on TV, and I've never seen a commercial for Roger Federer.
Look up
What
his
does that, what
championships
does
real
that
quick.
have to do with anything?
Look up how many championships he got.
That plays into
That has
it.
nothing to do with
What are you
nothing.
talking about? I bet Serena had a better career than Roger Federer.
I'm not arguing whether she did or not.
I guarantee she did.
I'm not
Look it
arguing.
up.
I don't care. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking
No,
about
but-
whatsoever.
But what you're talking about, fame doesn't really necessarily income.
Exactly.
Right? But what I'm saying is like, but Serena Williams, one, like you said, is more accomplished than her,
Okay.
and is also more famous.
Absolutely.
Also, like,
That-
both things are true.
That could
And
be.
he got 2 times how much? Like 40 something to 80 something.
84.
And so what are you
Damn.
basing the salary on then?
So my thing is, I think it's the same thing with the WNBA. It's the manner of support. Are you garnering the manner of support that turns into revenue? Yes or no? It doesn't matter how famous you are. It doesn't matter how much you win. Do you garner the amount of support that turns into revenue? Yes or no?
I think more so I don't even know if it's about like the support, because Serena, everywhere she goes, is packed. It's not even
Absolutely.
like everybody's gonna pay for that. Men, women. I think it's more so like we don't value women's sports less. Like even at this moment right now, I don't believe a WNBA player could beat me in a 1-on-1.
Come on,
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
But you
What are you
wildin'.
talking
But
about?
I'm
wildin'.
pretty sure they can.
What are you
but
talking
wildin'.
about,
It's just
man?
this mentality that I have, like
And you
Come
think
on.
that's the mentality of why the WNBA is not doing well?
partly because we don't see them as being like
Maybe in your prime.
successful. I mean, like being skilled.
Okay, but then how does that then translate? How do you use the same argument for Serena? What you're
No.
saying?
What I'm saying is like I know Serena's the most skilled tennis player in the world, so she deserves more money. I'm saying the people who don't pay the WNBA players that much don't see them as Serena like I could say Roger Federer and Serena are probably equal.
See,
in
but
skill.
so I won maybe, but that doesn't mean that she could beat him in a match.
Oh,
So it
no.
could-
She would absolutely lose
she would
to
absolutely lose.
Roger
So
Federer.
100%.
okay, therefore,
It wouldn't even be competitive.
okay, so using that logic right there, therefore, it could be that because he is better than Serena, that he commands a higher salary. It could be we value what he does more, and I'm not saying that that's the truth. I'm saying that that's what it could be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that because we see men's sports as better. The average NBA player is making $5 million. That's people that we don't even. These are number 15 on the bench making $5.
I think it, but that's just to me that it's just simply people are just not supporting it. Like if you want to support the WNBA, support the WNBA, and I say that to get into the two basketball players that They
Draymond.
not Draymond. Who was the two? It was Luka and Andre Iguodala, who they got on. And I see why they got on him. Luka, you wore the jersey, but you don't come to the game. That's not real support.
Who cares? I could wear a jersey and not go to a game.
But it's okay.
So
but
it's like saying you bought a Black Lives Matter shirt,
but you don't go to a protest.
I don't think it's the same thing.
Why is that not the same? I could buy a jersey that's support.
So I think the better
the
analogy,
revenue goes into the salary,
but it's not the same thing.
Buying a jersey is.
So here's why I do not think it's the same thing. I think the better analogy would be my friend sells cheesecakes. This is true. She sells cheesecakes and she shares her cheesecakes on Facebook, and I share them all the time. That's a manner of support. Would you agree? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Buying a
Wait, hold on, time out.
It's more important than sharing the cheesecake.
Absolutely.
Going to the game is more important than you posting a picture of you just wearing a jersey.
He purchased the jersey.
So my first question was sharing the cheesecake. Is that not a manner of support? Yes or no? I don't need no other commentary but a yes or no.
It is.
Of course, that's
so that's one
support.
form of support.
Okay.
And I'm not saying Luka did not support. I'm saying what they're asking him to do, take your support a step further, because what we really need is for people to come and go and watch the games.
Look, you don't tell somebody what to do.
I'm not telling.
Let me explain this situation. So if Luka decides I want to purchase a jersey and do a social media post with it, that's support. You don't go and bash him and say, well, you never came to our games. That's dumb.
I agree with you. You don't tell people what to do. Yeah. But that's not my point. I'm only telling you why they said what they said. With Andre Iguodala, why she said what she said was, you just said number 23. You didn't even look me up to say my name so that I can get some kind of recognition. You just you relegated me to just being number 23.
And then you tell him keep the energy to yourself, or
put some respect.
Put some respect on my name.
That's rude. He was all right. So he could have gone an extra step and Googled the number 23 on the team. He didn't. But you gonna go and be rude. Now the next nigga is not gonna do anything.
And now you begging for money.
Back to that.
Like what the fuck?
Yeah. And NBA, like in that same episode, Draymond was like, I'm so angry because I support the WNBA.
No, you don't.
No, they do. They be at because it's in the
some
summer.
of them.
Yeah, they be out there. Bro. They be at the games for real. They really do. And he was like, I'm really angry. Y'all deserve more money. Blah blah blah. But. Yeah, you can't just be like, "Yo, give me some of your money." Like,
I agree.
I was thinking
I agree with that.
I was thinking how uncomfortable Draymond and who's the other guy? The guy who used to play with James Harden, who was there. He played on Miami Heat.
PJ Tucker.
PJ, yeah, with the shoe game.
Yeah.
I was thinking how uncomfortable that must be for PJ Tucker and Draymond to be doing the barbershop interview and hear Lisa saying, "Why don't y'all give us some of y'all money?" Like that's uncomfortable, dude.
That could have been tongue in cheek. I don't think she necessarily meant that.
She said it. What are you talking about? She said it, but she don't mean it. She said it. We heard it.
I mean,
exactly.
And then she got more specific, saying the money that y'all play with, that y'all go gamble with, just give it to us.
I hear what you're saying, but that's why I use the exact expression tongue in cheek. It's that literally in and of itself. It means I'm saying something. It's not meant to be taken literally.
It's still uncomfortable. I was thinking about how uncomfortable Draymond and PJ must be. Like, damn, Lisa, do you want me to give you a check right now?
I hear you. No, and it's real. You shouldn't, in a manner of speaking, she shouldn't be saying things like that. I don't think she meant it literally for them to give her money in that way. But at the end of the day, if people are going to support the WNBA, then they would make more money. Like people would really need to come to the games, and I think that for the most part falls on women.
Women don't support.
I think women don't. I think I think for the most part it falls on women. And then if you're a man, because I know men who have daughters who play basketball certainly support women's basketball. But it's only until you have a daughter. Yeah, but I don't think it should be on men. I think it should mostly fall on women, because if you're going to be pro women, if you're going to be a feminist of any sort, and you don't support the WNBA, then that's kind of on you.
They just got to grow the sport more. They got to grow the WNBA, and I mean,
I don't know. I think maybe just dudes don't like seeing dykes running around playing basketball.
Right?
Oh wow.
Shaq said
Damn.
they should lower it from like 10 to like maybe 9.5.
Yeah, and
So they can dunk?
And some people didn't want
Yeah.
it, didn't like that. Why? Do it. It's gonna be more excitement for your league.
I think that's not a bad idea.
That's not a bad idea. I don't think so either. I mean,
See them dunking on
so
each
they
other.
see them dunking. Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, I guess just in general, women, there's a pay gender gap in society as it is. I heard somebody saying like women make less because they're out of the workforce more because they have like kids.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
Blah blah blah.
Makes sense.
I mean,
And they just don't do good work when they're in the workforce.
chill out.
I ain't argue.
Hey,
I argue that one.
No, I ain't,
That's crazy.
I ain't stepping on that with a 10-foot pole. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
Man.
know. It's hard to say because, like, obviously, if you do the same thing, you should get equal work. I mean, it's the same work, equal pay.
Right.
Obviously, if you fucking 2 pharmacists, you're doing the same shit. Nobody's better than the other. You know what I'm saying? Or 2 doctors or whatever. Now, it comes to like skilled labor, like basketball.
Yeah, I think that's where you
I
got
don't
to.
know. It gets a bit
It's-
complicated.
I don't see that as complicated at all. It's what I value and what does the consumer value. We're not going. You don't
True.
get money out of
'cause.
nowhere just
Yeah.
because.
But also the
It's like that
players,
in the music industry.
the
Period.
players have been renegotiating with the owners. Now they got a 50-50 profit share with the players and the owners. It wasn't always that. The players been
WNBA
negotiating.
or NBA.
The NBA.
Nice.
The NBA, they finally got 50-50 profit share with the owner.
Good.
And then they also expand the game international. During the off season, you got Golden State playing in China. You got players playing in India. You got other international teams coming to the U.S. to play. You got players playing in Mexico. So the NBA is growing their audience globally, and then they're getting more money. And then the players, the players union negotiated a better contract with the owners. So that's why they're getting more money.
I mean, do y'all feel like, speaking of overseas, like a lot of WNBA players go overseas to
Brittany.
make more money. Brittany Griner, for example, and a lot of them go overseas because they get like $1 million a year over there versus
Go where you're
130.
valued.
True. And speaking of value, I'm speaking about Brittany Griner. Like she got sentenced for the full 9 years. And somebody said, "Yo, if that was LeBron, they would have fucking started World War III."
You can't do that.
And it's like, well, yeah, we would've. Yes,
Damn.
Do you see the
would've.
net worth?
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, nigga's a billionaire. Hell yeah, we sending the boys in, which again speaks to the value I think that we have on these professional women athletes. It's like,
Brittany is not LeBron.
But not because I don't think it's because she's a woman. I think it's just because she just does not command that kind of revenue, no matter who she was. Now, if it were Serena, I think you'd have a different argument.
I
yeah, if
agree.
it was Serena,
You think
hey,
if
we
it's-
got to do whatever
We
we
going to
do.
war for
Yeah.
Serena.
for Serena.
You might, yeah.
Well, I don't- I don't
That's
think
different.
I don't think about going
Do
to
you know what she
war.
was to the culture? To little black girls? Come on, man.
I think you really negotiate a lot. I don't know about war. Not a real war.
They're not playing with Serena.
Why are we
Her
not?
husband not playing with her.
That's true. Yeah,
Like,
He's
come
a
on, man.
billionaire. That is true. He does make a lot of money. But why are we not going for Brittany Griner?
I think people went hard for her. I
Yeah,
just think that
niggas was like free BG every day.
What was her crime again?
She
she
had,
had a
paraphernalia.
marijuana, cannabis
Cartridge,
oil cartridge.
Right, gotcha.
But it's like, why you moving over there like that too?
Yo,
Yeah,
that's
you got to know the country where you at. You can't do that.
that's very, very serious.
She got 9 years.
That's
9
wild,
years is
though.
wild.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
That is
It's
wild.
like,
Damn, that's nothing. That's a small crime
That's
over
nothing.
here. But I'm saying it's a small crime over here what she did. But in Russia, they different.
you got to know where you at too. But it's like, how come we don't talk about it no more? Like we was putting pressure on Joe Biden. Joe Biden was like, I got y'all. And then now she actually got sentenced.
But the pressure would probably backfired
They was-
because they raised her profile.
Yeah, that too.
What do you mean they raised her profile?
If
She
you're
became-
negotiating,
yeah.
she's a big asset
Became a
now.
tactic. Yeah,
Okay, I
that's true.
got you. Oh yeah, because they wanted some other people in return, and it just didn't equate. It was like, yo, we can't give you murderers and rapists and terrorists and
Now, if
espionage.
it's Serena, we can give you whoever you want.
Maybe I don't
Probably
know.
give you Florida if it's Serena.
I don't know. But I do think it would have been interesting if it would have been a higher profile person at the beginning and see how we react as a country.
Yeah.
Would we have reacted differently if it were LeBron, if it were Serena, and even better if it were like somebody like Tom Brady, a white person? Like, what would we have done? Would we have? You think we
Tom
would have?
Brady wouldn't have got locked
Yeah,
up
he
to
would
begin
have
with.
got locked.
You don't think?
There's no way.
They gotta give that nigga a notice to appear, nigga. Like, hey, come back in 6 months.
They gonna
That's funny.
They'll start the draft. Like everybody going to war.
That's
every
crazy.
single person is going to war for Tom Brady. That's not even a thing. But
That's funny.
Yeah. Hey, but damn, Tom Brady and his wife just got divorced. That's crazy. I didn't.
He did it all for football. He gave
Did
his
it
life
all
to
for
it.
football.
Yeah, he did. I mean, again, this is part of the reason why men say men can carry more weight. Look at what we're doing. This is why we deserve more money. We're giving our lives up.
Sacrifices.
That's wild.
Happiness.
You know what I'm saying? For that, like
The love of the game.
I understand it. Like
Now, some people would say that us being 4 men, we're talking about women's issues, women's rights. Do you think we could talk objectively about anything having to do with women, like
Absolutely.
women's productive,
Absolutely.
reproduction?
That's touchy because like historically in this country you had a lot of white men making all the laws for the whole country, including the women.
True.
I don't want to just say a group of men can talk for women. I do think we can be sensitive enough and address the conversation correctly, but it's a little rude to just say, oh yeah, the guys can talk for the girls.
all right, okay, I got. You know what? Let's. I have a scenario that we can kind of debate.
About a woman's body, her choice, and like that. My question is, if we give a woman the right to opt out of motherhood, should we also give a man the right to opt out of fatherhood and 18 years of child support?
I agree. Do you don't agree?
No, I don't know.
But if a mom walks into an abortion clinic and says, you know what, I'm not feeling this, and gets an abortion, the dad has no say. How come this mom can't, let's just say it's a one-night stand, this is hypothetical, and the mom comes back to the dad and is like, hey, I'm pregnant. Why can't he opt out if she was able to say, hey, I don't want this baby? It's a double standard.
Well, he could obviously sign his rights away, but he cannot physically make
He can sign his rights away because he has to pay child support.
I mean,
he is legally bound by child
to be
support.
honest, that's just the way it is.
I know, but do you think it's right?
You can't tell a woman to have an abortion. Like, that's it.
I know, but do you think it's right that a mom can say, I don't want this baby, but a dad never can?
I mean, I just think that's just the way it is.
But do you think it's right? Yes or no? Gun to your head.
Gun to my head.
I don't think it's right. I think the whole system's fine.
Right.
Yes.
Hell no.
That was 2 women on the street being interviewed by a man.
White women.
2 white women being interviewed by a man. Obviously, one agreed with the man's scenario, and the other one did not.
I like them pinning her down and asking her the question more accurately, and she's just dodging.
What do y'all think about the question that he supposed, which was that a woman has the right to opt out of motherhood,
but a father can't.
But a father can't.
I agree with the first woman's response. It is kind of crazy. It's wild. Like, we keep saying that women have the rights. It's their body. They have the rights. And yes, they do. But why should a man not have that right as well? I think in best case scenario, there should be a conversation. And somehow if a woman decides she wants to keep a child, then she should take sole responsibility for that child. In my opinion.
I kind of agree with you. And my agreement is hypothetical.
Of course. Oh, yeah. Obviously.
So my agreement is if you believe in abortion, if a woman, like the scenario she said, it's a one-night stand and you got pregnant. If you believe you have the right to abort the child and not have a relationship, I think it's fair if the man has the same opportunity to say, hey, I want to leave the child and not have to pay for 18 years. So it's hypothetical. If that's your belief, you believe in abortion, you believe you can do that, then it should be fair for him to do the same thing.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I want to say no, I don't think so. And here's why.
Don't think what? Sorry.
I don't think that you should have the right to terminate your parental responsibility if the woman has a child under normal circumstances. So I think with exceptions, sure.
Yeah,
but just generally speaking,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
And the reason is the both of you made that child. So you bear the responsibility of that child. She only has the right to have the abortion because the child is growing in her body. I think the question would be better asked. I don't even want to get into what I think the better question is, but just to answer the question that we're on right now is No, because I think what would happen is, or what could happen is, you'll have a whole bunch of people trying to dodge fatherhood, just out here just skeeting, skeeting in girls, and that's the problem.
But then, don't women have the opportunity or the say, hey, put on a condom?
That's true. Yeah.
So it's like, let's not.
Or she could be on birth control,
or get on birth control, and we don't have to deal with none of this shit at all. But to say no, now that I'm pregnant, I'm gonna sign you up for 18 years of child support, but you don't have the same respect in the conversation.
But is it true if you sign away your parental rights, you still pay child support?
No. So, and you can't just easily sign away your parental rights. It's not that simple. Now, you can give the child up for adoption, and that's different. That's easier than terminating your parental rights, actually. So if that's what you want to do, but the mom would have to consent. Like it's a process to do that. Whole thing. Okay. It's a whole thing because we want people to take responsibility for their children. That's a societal thing. It's a value that we have, and I come in looking at these things and in all these conversations that we have. There are no perfect rules. There are no perfect laws. There's no perfect way to do things. So we're not going to make everybody happy. We're not going to figure out something to make everybody happy. I think the best thing is you can only control yourself. So because you can only control yourself, do the best thing for yourself.
So your thing is generally, though, of course, no perfect. There's a lot of cases. But generally, if she's pregnant, she has full control.
Because it's her body.
Well, it's her body. So, so whatever she does with her body is whatever she does with her body. That once the baby is born, the baby is both of your responsibilities at that time. But unfortunately, that's the cost that you pay.
Unfortunately.
Well, because unfortunately, if you're the one who doesn't want to have the child,
it sucks for you.
Yeah, it sucks for you.
Yeah, you're talking about just her body, but it's going to be both of their money.
Correct.
So her body is different, right? It's growing inside of her, but both of their money to raise the child. If she can say, for her money, not for her body, for her money, she doesn't want to have the child. Should he be able to say, for my money, I don't want to support the child?
No, because you pay the cost of that consequence of making that child.
Why? What are you talking about? What
exactly what I just said?
Consequence?
And I just had this conversation with somebody yesterday about what consequences mean. Mm-hmm. It's the result. It's the result of you having the child. Is
a one night stand. It was
whatever.
The example.
It doesn't matter what the example is. The result of you having a child is you have the responsibility for that child
for 18 years.
Point blank. Period. You mean there's exceptions, of course, but
so a woman can find a scapegoat, but a man can't. Is what you're saying, essentially.
No, because I don't know what you mean by saying
the
scapegoat.
If the scapegoat would be her saying, "I want an abortion." I had a one night stand with a guy who I just met. Mm-hmm. I don't know him from a can of paint. Mm-hmm. My scapegoat is okay. Well, as a female, I don't want to be a mother to a child that I'm not planning on being with the man, right? Mm-hmm. Her scapegoat is she can get an abortion. So if a guy makes that same mistake, you saying that he's pretty much locked in for 18 years.
Again, it's the result of you having a child with that person. There's no other way. You can't get.
That's the black and white. That's the black and white answer.
It's not. It's not black and white. Think about it like this: you can't do anything about. She is the one who has the baby. No more than she can do anything about.
But is it correct?
Hold on. No more than she can do anything about. You can never carry a child.
So. All right, not how it is right now, because they were asking the same thing of the lady in the video. How should it be?
Exactly how it is.
All right, so you like it how it is right now. All right.
Yes, I think it's the best. It's the best course of action.
Only because, like you said, like if not,
imagine
the outcome. I thought about that too. What would be the alternative?
Yeah.
A bunch of men shooting clubs up.
That's
and
it.
saying I don't want to be there.
That's the biggest problem.
But that still happens now.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
And it would be worse.
Yeah, it'll be a lot worse.
How's it going to be? It's the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah, because like even
it's not stopping guys from getting women pregnant.
It's slowing men down though.
It's slowing you down.
It's slowing down a lot of men.
Child support, like fundamentally, I don't like the idea of child support, but I understand it. I mean, if not,
you have a lot of people who won't pay.
Men will not accept their responsibility as fathers
at all,
and then there'd just be a lot of just children just being bastardized and
exactly
single mothers and.
I mean, that's just happening now. You're just saying it'll get worse.
Yes, but it'll be 10 times worse.
Yes. 1,000 times worse. Because it's bad now.
Yeah.
So I can't. It's hard for me to even fathom how much worse it could be in the alternative.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
Well, look at this. Man made these laws trapping man, so we can make laws for ourselves. That's good, right?
Now you're trolling because I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what I don't know what you're saying.
You asked earlier about if we could talk about women's issues and be fair, and then I said, well, it's not necessarily nice to have a bunch of guys talking about women issues, but I think we could try to do a good job. And then I said in the Congress, historically, it's been all white men making all the rules for everyone. They made rules trapping themselves and not giving them a way out. So it shows man can be fair and make rules against man.
I mean,
okay, I see what you're saying.
I get what you said.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's a kind of a lose-lose. It's like, ideally, because what does it loes like? Should a man say, hey, what if a woman doesn't want to have the baby, but you do?
That's the question. That's the question I wanted to ask, and I was like, do I want to get into that?
Why not?
No,
so,
I mean,
but yeah,
it's her body again.
So exactly, it comes down to it's still her body. There's nothing you can do about it.
I mean, that's essentially what they passed in law with,
abortions becoming illegal in the Supreme Court.
Illegal. So it's the same thing right now.
Well, state by state still.
Well, yeah, state by state.
That
but
what?
They banning abortions. That's
They overturned Roe versus Wade.
Which that I think is wrong. That we shouldn't do. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't like people just legislating their own values, forcing their own values on other people in
Christian
general.
legislation.
Christian, whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, just why are you forcing your values? This has nothing
Somebody's
to do with
going to
you.
write the law, and their values should be in the law.
I don't think so.
You can't really separate. If I'm a lawmaker, I'm campaigning and fundraising for my values to be in the law.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, that makes sense.
I just fucking ran a campaign and fundraised $100,000, and I happen to win. It's gonna be my values. I'm not doing it for your values.
Right. I get that.
Y'all voted me in there because I represent.
Y'all like my values. I talked to so many people, kissed tens of thousands of babies. Nigga, it's my values.
Yeah, I agree with that. We don't live in a democracy. We live in a democratic republic. Meaning, we vote people in, and they're the ones making the rules and the law. I get that. I just disagree with it. I guess is the better way to put it.
Because Kanye was talking about this shit, how like abortion is the new black genocide.
No,
like 50% of black death is abortion.
Nope.
This is why Planned Parenthood was founded.
No,
I couldn't disagree with him anymore.
They were,
That's true.
and their history was getting rid of black babies at the start.
That is true. But y'all don't think
they call that eugenics.
See, y'all listen to Kanye when it's never mind. All right, never
mind. Is this the Kanye on his meds or Kanye off his meds?
Because like Kanye have like one little like something in there that's
a broken
true.
clock, right? Twice a day.
It'd be true, but he just don't know what he's talking about. You know what I'm
a
saying?
lot of things of what Kanye says, he has some truth in. A lot of the things he says,
to it.
A lot, but that doesn't mean that he in it. Like everything he says is true.
Yeah,
like that's where I think we just need to break things down.
Excuse me, his name is Ye.
Whatever. I'm gonna call him Kanye. That's just it. I'm just gonna call him Kanye. We can't just say because he says some good things that everything now he says are good.
And you speaking earlier, what you're saying, like how you don't like how when people put their values in things. Like I was watching this clip of TD Jakes. I can play it for you now. When he was speaking about modern women, and so TD Jakes, he's a pastor, world famous, like probably one of the most famous Christian ministers in the world, and he's speaking about women, and
what does he say?
TD Jakes is going viral and got a lot of women upset right now over his remarks about modern women and their masculine behavior.
This breaks all sociological orders of the culture we're living in now, because we are raising up women to be men. And you are not applauded for your femininity. You are applauded in the contemporary society by how tough, rough, nasty, mean, aggressive, hateful, possessive you are, and you are climbing the corporate ladder, but we are losing our families. I know you can buy your own car. I know you can buy your own house. But until you create a need that I can pour into, I have no place in your life. So stop coming home bragging to me about how much you don't need me me and wonder why I shy away.
Okay, so I really hate every single word that he just said.
Are you serious?
No, I love it. It's
For
the
a lot of
truth.
reasons. One, I don't like when this is not the gospel of Jesus Christ.
It's
This
not.
is T.D. Jakes' opinion.
True.
So the fact that he's saying it's at church.
All right.
Oh,
So
come
you don't
on
like.
now. I hate
all
that
right.
part. Yeah, that part I just completely. I hate any time a pastor comments on something that is not about the word of God. This is not. I'm not coming to you for your opinion on society.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? I'm coming to you for about.
But should a shepherd lead his flock?
No. This is totally separate.
No, I think he's leading his flock. He's talking to the lost women out there in his flock.
And I think when you see what's happening, as far as generations are, looking back, it's a thing generational. But when you see the way we're going in society, especially our people, at some point you have to, and especially somebody of his stature, you have to address it.
I think,
like, how do I see the demise of my own people, but I don't speak on it?
it's the same thing. Like, you're the original Kevin Samuels. You've been saying this shit for years.
Absolutely.
And then we had Kevin Samuels with the very, very similar message while the late, great Kevin Samuels was here. There's a lot of women becoming masculine. They just are.
Because they making money?
They're getting bigger.
Yes.
They're big girls.
Oh,
They're big
chill out,
girls.
chill out.
No, they are. They're big. They're masculine. They got like man energy. They're
you mean
aggressive.
big like muscular or big?
They're
like,
fat. They're overweight.
Oh,
they're
Peter,
obese.
that's beside the
goodness.
point, Peter.
That's the same thing he's talking about. They're getting. So what? One of the things Kevin will talk about is how over time women have their weight has increased, but a man's weight still stays the same. So you have women who are bigger than their men, when usually it's the man who is bigger and who's
Peter, I don't think that's what
he's
he's talking about when he's talking about masculinity.
I don't care. Fuck that shit.
I don't think that's what he's talking about.
Have your
That's-
feelings.
That's why I love it.
Leave a comment.
That's why I love it.
But that's one of the problems is these. It's not just the weight. The weight is part of it.
Black buffaloes.
Yeah, these big black buffaloes.
No, don't do that. No, I hear you, Peter, but I don't, because I don't think that's what he's talking about when he's talking
So
about
Kevin would always
masculinity.
say fit, friendly, and
Fuck
feminine.
Kevin. Let me not say
The
that.
three
Let me not
F's.
say that. He
Fit,
died. Rest in
friendly,
peace.
friendly, and feminine. That women aren't doing those
So let's
anymore.
focus on the feminine part, because this conversation is more or less about masculinity and femininity.
More so
So
about femininity. Okay.
All right, Mike. So what's your opinion?
yeah, I agree with what he's saying. I think the household is becoming it's an awkward place to be in now when you have women who are so masculine and they're constantly,
What does
throwing around
masculine mean? What is
the
That
rhetoric
was
of
gonna be my question.
masculine. What's
Yeah,
the-
what does that mean? Like, how do you define masculine
they
and
making money?
feminine?
Well, okay, so I think there's nothing wrong with a woman making money at all.
Of course.
But I think when when the rhetoric becomes "I don't need you" or "I'm independent," like I don't think we see a lot of. I don't recall seeing too many white women or even Spanish women walking around screaming out how independent they are. You get what I'm saying? Like I think it's something that we
The black
black community kind of like they emphasize so much. Like, oh, we got to be big, strong, black, and independent.
Emphasis on big.
There's a
Hey,
You said it, not
Peter,
me.
the
God
timing
damn.
on that was so fire though. That's funny, dog.
But no, I think that's the issue is that and I have these conversations on a regular basis.
We know.
We have a lot of you said we know.
Yes.
We have a lot of single parents, single mothers raising daughters, and they're not raising these women to learn how to cook, to know how to keep a house clean, how to rub your man's feet, rub his back. I'm not saying that. That's the job
You
title.
gonna teach your daughter how to rub feet?
Well, not rub feet, but look, I would hope that at some point that's something that she would do. I mean,
Her mother
that
would teach, or
me. I mean, Dad.
Or
I mean,
anybody.
it comes from anybody. I think that
Actually,
Well,
I
let me
think
ask
that's
you,
a-
Mike. Are you raising your daughter to be one of these feminine women, or are you
Absolutely,
raising her to be
feminine.
an independent woman?
I think you can do both. But I think in being independent, like I'm going to teach her to be a wife first.
Mm-hmm.
Love.
But what
be
does
loving.
that mean?
Oh Jesus, nigga, be loving, be caring. Be
Got
a nurturer. You can do that and also be independent. And that's the thing that I think the black women are not preaching to their daughters, or not. And maybe it's because of lack of black men in households. That's another conversation. But when you're constantly preaching, get up, chase a bag, and get this money, What's the
That's
outcome
different.
of that?
That used to be the man doing that.
You get what I'm saying?
Now
I
these
think that
women are
you
doing
can
that.
preach both. I'm not saying a woman shouldn't chase no bag and shouldn't get money, shouldn't be independent, but you don't have to always constantly let it be known that I don't need you, nigga. That's the problem I have with that whole conversation. I mean, that rhetoric is that, oh, I don't need a nigga for nothing, and I could do about. They're trying to literally get rid of black men in households. Even when you go on, Instagram and social media. I don't know about y'all, but I follow like Spiritual Words, the Shade Room. All they do is sell sex toys, trying to eradicate men, trying to eradicate like the human touch. Like they got these Rose toys, they got like 4 different versions of them.
I think I seen an ad.
And when you read the goddamn comments, all you see is women saying, "Oh, what I need a nigga for."
Bitch, you
get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, and I agree with you shouldn't be throwing the "I don't need you" in my face.
I agree with that.
But I think that goes both ways, and I don't think that has to be a gender specific thing.
I don't hear men saying that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't.
I've never heard a man say, "I don't need a woman."
Need you.
I've never heard that.
Have you heard that? Is that something you've heard?
I'm not accusing. My point is this: I don't think that it has to be a lack of femininity. Like I don't think that this is a masculine thing. Like I don't think it's a masculine trait.
It is very masculine.
Because just like you guys said, you've never heard a man say, "I don't need a woman." The women saying that they don't need a man, I don't think it's a masculine trait. I just think it's just I don't want to say the word that just popped in my head, but it's a
philosophical.
It's something that it's just something that it's an ideology that we just need to get rid of. It's just to say that you just don't need to divide us.
We need each other.
We need each other.
Men and women.
But I guess I guess what they deemed it as a masculine trait is when you start saying things like, "I'm a strong black woman." And I think the first thing that comes out of that, what I just said was strong, and you associate strong with masculine.
And we shouldn't do that.
But that's that's a title we kind of,
Why
black
not?
women have kind of given themselves.
Why not? Because I think
strong shouldn't be associated with.
It shouldn't be associated with. I think it should just be a person. A person should be strong. Like a person should be independent. If you're an adult, you should be.
You should know how to cook.
You should know how to cook. You should know how to clean. You should know how to make money for yourself. You should have skills. You should have life skills. All adults should have life skills.
Yes.
But we do all need each other. We need friends.
Absolutely.
We need our family. We need to, in my opinion, I think we need significant others.
Absolutely.
So I think.
Pussy.
Right.
Yes.
So the ideology of "I don't need you," that needs to go away. That doesn't make you any less. I don't think that makes you masculine. Like, so what I don't like about what TD Jakes is saying is that the words that he used in the beginning, the whatever, all the words that he used, I can't recall the words that he used. It's as if he associated that with being masculine, but none of those words were good.
Yeah. I think with him, like I heard a woman speaking about something similar. She was like, women are not designed for the corporate environment. Mm-hmm. She was like kind of chasing, like, being in the corporate structure where like hierarchies and politics and rubbing elbows with the good old boys and going out to golf events with the guys and drinking after work and like, how can I succeed in a corporate environment if I have to go home to with my family? So like I'm never going to succeed in this dynamic that the corporations have set up, right? It's like it's a good old boys club,
right?
So she was saying, this is what I guess she's saying is like corporations are masculine in their
by structure.
So she's saying that women don't belong in that masculine environment.
Right.
And I'd agree, unless the woman is going to change the type of business structure, she might be more happy having
change the whole structure.
Yeah,
that ain't happening.
Yeah,
unless she changes the structure, she might be like.
She
like
doesn't
some of these, a lot of the young ladies getting married later, having children later, but they got money.
True.
Are they going to be happy once they get to geriatric pregnancy and try to have a child at that point?
Nah.
They not having kids.
If they can have
So
kids.
They getting grad degrees. They ain't getting no kids.
So Peter,
no, I'm saying look at our parents.
No,
Look at the age our parents had us. And
Right.
look at their children when they're having kids.
Right.
It's completely different. But the children are educated. We're all educated.
Right.
But they're and not just us specifically, but in general,
We're having
a lot of the girls, the young ladies. I mean, the guys are out there too, but the young ladies are the one. It's their body, right? They're going to get to geriatric pregnancy. It's going to happen.
True.
So you can bullshit all you want, but these young ladies not getting married sooner, waiting later to get pregnant, it's a serious issue.
Right, and I hear what you're saying, and I think you're making a great point. But I think the solution isn't that girl has to change the structure. I think we can change the structure altogether. It doesn't have to be that. Like the way the corporate
all this we shit.
Because
you sound like Lisa Leslie, nigga.
No, but
we can all make the WNBA make money. Nigga, give me some of your money.
But
this we shit.
But it makes sense because when I think about the corporate world, in my opinion, I don't feel like I fit in corporate a lot America. Of the corporate world, and I think the corporate world should change because I don't think by design it's designed for any of us. I think it by design the way that it's mostly older white men.
Absolutely.
So I don't think it fits any of us. I think for the corporate world, it should change to fit the dynamic of society. And it doesn't have to be just this one woman.
That's not
because
happen.
I'm not saying it is going to happen. I'm just saying that I think that would be the solution.
Who would have a better chance in corporate America, a black man or a black woman?
I think a black man.
Question. I think a black woman does.
Oh, you think a black woman
I think a black woman. You know, even most of the jobs I've had working in corporate America, I've always noticed it's like 5 times more black women than there are black men.
Yeah, but I don't think
positions.
Entry level.
That's true because black women, they are more by statistically they're more educated than black men. But that doesn't mean I think that they are by nature or by design more equipped for the corporate world.
No, I don't think it. I just think that I looked at it like this at one point when I was working in pharmaceuticals. There was I worked for a white guy, and essentially, I thought about it. As a white man, do I want a nigga in my face arguing about his paycheck? Do I want
That's a good point.
Do I want someone objecting to every opinion I have? Do I want? And this is a big black guy, maybe twice my size, as opposed to a soft, beautiful black woman who may take some of the shit, who I can possibly fuck outside of my relationship.
She might be argumentative.
I'm not saying that's what, but I mean, as a white man,
in general,
or even as
I see
a man,
what you're saying. That's a good point.
I tried to find an answer as to why I saw so many more black women than I saw black men, because I know I was surrounded by a lot of capable men who can work in those positions.
Black women know how to read books.
Like we all read books. You know what I'm saying? So what made it that there were so many more black women than there were black men? And I thought about it. And this might be a little deep for niggas, but back to Jim Crow days, that whole "I don't need a man for shit" rhetoric. When you give a woman a position where she's making $100,000 and her husband making $40,000, when she comes home, it's like, nigga, where my dinner at, nigga?
Wait, no, you just conflated two different things. Now you went
Go
from
ahead.
You
see the point I'm trying to make.
But I do see the point you're trying to make.
But so let's get on that.
All right, but yes, that makes sense. It may be a woman would be less combative in a corporate setting, and maybe
less intimidated.
You're less intimidated.
That's
You're less intimidated by the black man than you are the black woman. So that could be
by
the
black
reason.
woman than the black man.
Yeah, the other way around.
So if say you were in that scenario where you made 40 and your wife made 140, and she came home like, where my dinner at? Like, I'm assuming you'd feel like
emasculated, a bitch.
Yeah,
you would.
Yeah, I think you would, because I think especially us, the way we were raised, and given our culture, given our age, we were raised in a certain kind of dynamic where it's usually the opposite. So
outside of that, though,
the point I'm trying to say is, like, when she kind of barked on you and demanded this from you, you'd feel like some of your masculinity is lessened, being removed.
Yeah,
like the estrogen was pumped into your ass.
Yeah,
and that's the whole point.
That's the point.
That's the point.
It was like, so you do feel that if there's a power imbalance in the relationship, that whoever has the more power is
a bit more masculine.
No, I don't feel that, because I think what you described, somebody making more, the woman making more money, me making less money, significantly less money.
Yeah.
But then the way she treated me when she made significantly more money
made you feel less.
That's what emasculated me. It's not the money.
Right. She made you feel less. She made
less
you feel less than as a man.
Yes, because the way she treated me, that's what emasculated me.
And that's the mindset that I was trying to explain earlier. It's the mindset. It's the rhetoric of, again, I don't need a nigga for shit. So when women, a lot of women, I'm not gonna say all or the majority, but a lot of women, when they reach this, black women I'm speaking on, they reach a certain level of success, that's the first thing they kick out.
So this,
I don't need you for shit. I don't need nothing from you.
So what you're doing right now is the same problem that Kanye and Kyrie have. You're painting a broad stroke.
I just said a lot. I just said not
he
the majority.
He did say a lot.
Yeah,
I said not the majority.
You said it most.
You ain't listening correctly. I said a lot. I didn't say most. I didn't say all. I said a lot of black.
Then we talking about a minority of women.
That's not a minority. I'm just speaking to my relative truth. And I know a lot of black men who will say, yeah, I've been in a situation. I've also been in a situation where I dated someone who made $300,000.
Okay.
And nothing about that emasculated me. Because it wasn't how she spoke to me.
Exactly. It's not the money.
That's why, but I said that's why I keep going back. It's a mindset. It's how you're taught. I ain't gonna. Maybe it's a South Florida thing. I don't know, bro. Maybe it's the
treatment. It's the treatment.
But it's also a mindset. It starts from the mindset. It starts from how you're raising your daughters. When you're pushing them out in the world and saying, "Hey, become successful, become independent."
Which is good.
Which is all great, but also be feminine. You can do both.
I don't even know. I don't even know if that's true.
You can't do both?
No. I'm sorry. I don't know. It's you raising your daughter to be feminine. I don't know if that's true. And maybe it is.
So you don't think you can raise your daughter to be?
Until you define it for me, I don't know.
Man, we know.
Damn, you acting weird. You don't know what masculine and feminine is. You gotta fucking look at the dictionary for everything.
So this is what I like about this conversation. Earlier you said I liked how that one white lady was pinned down. So I'm pinning you down now. Define it for me. If you cannot define it for me, then there's no
understand what the word means, Bamia.
See, that's my thing. If we having a conversation,
I mean,
then define it. Define
black.
it.
Yeah.
It's black, nigga. We know what masculine is.
I think we have an idea of masculine versus femininity, but I do agree with the. Is there a way to raise them that way? Unless you're talking about like domesticated.
Thank you.
If you're talking about domesticated,
you cannot define it.
But I mean.
We can. We know.
Then define
the
it.
General understanding of what masculine is and what feminine is.
No. See, this is what I do not like. Bro. If you are going to make a comment, and now this is directly to you, Peter. If you're going to make a comment, if you're going to make a joke, stand behind it. Don't say I don't know something. Then you have to look in the dictionary. Hold on. Then you have to look in the dictionary to try to tell me what you think you already know.
For the
how
word
you know something
masculine.
Let me ask you a question. There's a very simple question. How you say you know something, but you have to look it up,
dude? That's beside
no. This that's my whole thing. If we gonna have a conversation about anything, just keep it a whole buck with yourself. Yo, man, I might not know really how this is defined. I may know how to describe it. Then describe it. We having a conversation. Like if you're gonna make any comments, period, about anything, because we go back and forth on a whole bunch of things. And I'm like, bro, do niggas really even know what they really talking about? We have a feeling, but can we articulate it? You yourself.
Masculine is masculine, bro. We're not getting into semantics, bro.
I'm not trying to get into semantics.
We are. We understand
like
the general
not that you're trying
idea
to.
of what semantics is, and I mean I said semantics. Of what masculine is. Masculine is a certain behavior. It's a way you carry yourself. It's a thought process. It's a way you move. We don't have to get into the fucking definition. We have a general understanding of what masculine behavior is.
I don't know how you raise your daughter to be feminine.
With men.
Got you. I don't know how you raise your daughter to be feminine. And the reason why I said that, because you said it was a mindset in which you raise your daughter. When I think about the women who I know who make a lot of money.
So the better word would be domesticated then.
It might be. I think it might be.
Okay, but that's not what.
But to your point, to all the women that I know who make a lot of money, and who have been in successful relationships, or people who I know who I've never felt less than when I was in their presence. I don't know if their parents raised them to be feminine. Like, I think, yes, maybe it has something to do with...
Yes, they
I don't
absolutely
know.
have.
I don't even know if their parents raised them to be domesticated. Sometimes I think it's just in a person to not treat somebody a certain kind of way. Like, sometimes I think the raising
I think when you... And this is not every situation per se, but when you have a angry mom who's her husband left her for someone else, and you're raising nothing but girls, and she's bitter because of the situation, she's going to spit out that rhetoric that I've been speaking on.
She might put some poison on her daughters.
Fuck these niggas. Go chase a bag. Fuck these niggas. Go get this money. Get a degree. Become independent. That's what she's putting out there. And so, yes, that naturally becomes instilled in the woman's mind. I can't focus on a man or being a wife. Fuck it. I want to focus on getting a bag and chasing this money and becoming self-sufficient. That's the part that I'm talking about.
Got you.
And that's a mindset. That's something that's instilled in you.
Yeah, there's that happens. I mean, when I was back on the dating market, there's some chicks who, damn, I don't know what happened to them. They are not feminine. Some of them, they got too much. Some of them, they're trying too hard to take charge. I mean, I understand. You know, I don't know who they dated in the past. Maybe they dated some fucking losers, and now they're trying to whatever. But go ahead.
No, I was going. Is feminine subservient?
Yes. No, to me it's not. To me it's not.
Wait. I heard one yes. I heard one no.
Yeah, different opinions.
They have different opinions.
I don't think it is. I think it's just when you look at the yin and the yang, the black is not more. It's not. What's the word?
More important.
It's not more important than the white. You know, there's not more
You're saying
black.
It's like a balance.
You get what I'm saying? It's balance. It's a 50-50 equation. You can't have masculine without the femininity and vice versa. You need the two of them. So it's not that they're subservient. They work together to establish what each other is. Without femininity, you don't have masculinity. It's just they work together. So I don't see one as inferior or one as superior. I just need that they're both required. You can't have two masculine heads in the household.
Yeah, it's different energies. Too, you know, a masculine guy with a masculine girl. I don't think that's gonna work. I think you need to find a balance. If you're a masculine, if a woman is feminine, she probably needs a masculine man. I don't think the feminine and feminine energy works. I think you need the yin and the yang. You need to find the balance.
And that's in the book, The Way of the Superior Man.
Yeah, I read that book.
I love that book.
I read it like 2 or 3 times. It's a good book.
You got to read it.
I asked one of my wife's friends about. She's young and she's very progressive. They were talking about like men crying. And she was like, "Yeah, I wouldn't mind if a man cried. Like it's fine. Men can be more emotional. I don't care. All these rules you old people got." She talking about us old people. So I was like, "Okay, that's cool, man. I hear you. That's very pro of you." She was like, so I asked her, "What if a man cried every time he got into an argument with you? Like when you're arguing and he was just so very that he started crying." She's like, "Oh no, that means he's soft. He's." I was like, "You just said." You know what I mean? So I think like that's what the point I'm trying to make is like there's something that we recognize is like I could be as
masculine,
right? Like there's a certain thing that she wants from him. Like of course you can cry if a movie is sad or if you're sad, but every time we argue, you're just crying because you just can't hold it in. She was like, I don't recognize it as like manly.
Got you.
That was her kind of thing there. So I completely understood what she was saying. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
Like,
I get that because she gave you a description of what something she tried to convey to you what that word meant to her, and so she painted a picture for you, and that makes sense.
Do we all agree with her definition
of masculine? Yes.
Yeah.
In that situation.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah. I agree. But again, we're all raised very, very similarly, same age, culture. So we would have a very, very similar idea in our brains as to what we think when we say masculine or feminine. But to be clear of what I was trying to convey earlier is if we're going to say something, especially me, if I'm asking you like, okay, what do you mean by that? Or what does this thing mean? If you take any offense to that makes me feel like, do you know what you're talking about when you're talking about a certain thing? Like, just answer the question. Like, don't dodge a question. Don't dodge being challenged on anything. And maybe that's why the white man don't want me in his world, because I'm gonna challenge you on something.
Yeah, that's why we can't have niggas working.
That's why we can't have niggas
and then niggas can't really like sell me anything either too. Like I always feel like if a man is trying to sell me something, I have to be more on edge than if a woman is. Like it could be the same kind of scam, but I'm more receptive to a woman's speech, communication,
her
arguments,
persuasion,
yeah, just
her breast,
feminine.
Maybe femininity.
Her femininity. That's exactly what it is.
I think so. It's like if a man is talking to me about vote for Ron DeSantis. I'm like, why?
Nah.
You know what I mean?
Can't trust you.
You dick riding. You know what I'm saying? But if it's a woman, like, all right, I'm willing to hear you.
And that's that feminine persuasion.
Do you find that? Do you find when it comes to any battle of the sexes, debate or conversation, that you tend to be more pro men?
No. I think
not at all.
Not at all. I think what will be happening is like a lot of the battle of the sexes talk be just like that's a lot of times to me be men complaining. It's just like, you know, it just be men complaining about, man, she don't do this, the women don't do this, women don't do that. And it's like they don't do that for you.
That's funny.
Like in the real world, regular people, you know what I mean? Like it's not that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? Like most things.
Give an example.
Like just for example, when they say a lot of men are like, oh, these women, Fresh and Fit is a good example. Like these
their
two niggas
podcast.
got their podcast. They be like, all women nowadays just want a successful man. That's all they want. And I'd be like, dog, that's not true. You know what I'm saying? Like regular niggas still go on regular dates with regular women.
Right.
It may not work out. Cool.
Right.
But it's still niggas going to Ricky's. Still niggas going to bars.
Shout out to Ricky.
You know what I'm saying? Like, again, now you might meet somebody on these apps and they want to go to fucking Prime 112 on date one. But then obviously you date her and then, this bitch is crazy. Let me get a regular person. Like, they're still, like, that's the part that you never hear really in the battle of sexes. Like, regular shit still be happening every day.
Oh, so like the women saying, I need a nigga to pay all my bills, and if he ain't gonna
That's
pay all
wild.
my bills, he broke.
I heard
when
that
you
a
listen
few
to that,
times.
you're like, no, we're not paying for you. You know what I'm saying? But like, it is still women that on date one, you'll take them to Prime 112.
Right.
Maybe all the messages before, like, y'all really vibe.
Yeah.
I want to show her a good time. I really like the way we're going. I trust her. And then you still go on more dates after that. But we're not doing that for you.
Now,
we don't like.
So in the battle of the sexes, do you think it's natural for men to typically go on a man's side and women to typically go on a woman's side?
No, I think it just depends on like.
I think it's probably their
it's based on
experiences, what they,
Yeah, if you've been
their
around,
experiences
you know,
have been.
when like a lame is talking, like nigga, you just talk. You haven't really dated people. You haven't really like been around a lot of women or women who just like they 21 talking about, you know, nigga gotta take me out. I'm like,
Pay my
what
bills.
you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like you sound crazy. You just you're too young and too inexperienced to be talking about what you're talking about. Like everybody I know is a regular person in a regular relationship have regular problems that we all have. You know
Maybe
what I'm
I
saying?
ain't regular. My shit don't be regular all the time.
You
Yeah, you not. Yeah, you the
You be
exception.
you outside.
No.
But again, somebody like you who's you've been you talked to a couple people before, so it's like you have a real world. You have a real world experience, so it's like even if it sounds misogynistic, for example, like it comes from a place like I'm not just talking.
It's
knowledge.
experienced misogynism.
I know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
But even still, when you be talking, it's like you kind of give like now. Don't get me wrong. Now X, Y, and Z, A, B, C, D, A.
There are exceptions to the
But
rule.
sometimes people just be talking on this internet, just to be women. All women are trash. Women are not good.
It'd be clickbait.
Like they want the 1% and the alpha males, and
So let's.
It ain't enough of y'all.
So then let's see if this is the exception. All right. Your father cheats on your mother. You find out that your father cheats on your mother. Now you caught him. You as a man, how do you then react? Giving you're a man, given this is your mom, your real life experience.
I mean, that's a tough scenario. I mean, what do y'all think?
From a male perspective, I'm checking them straight up. Like, because it's my mom at the end of the day, and I do that with any other you niggas. Let's make this very clear. If I find any of you niggas cheating, I'm going to check y'all. But my father, that's my mom. That's the lady who gave birth to me. In a lot of cases, most people respect their mom more than they respect their father. There's a different type of love you have for your mom because she gave birth to you as opposed to your father. So, I'm checking him first quarter.
Yeah, that's
He might get chin checked, like, bud, tighten up.
Nigga, you not gonna chin check it down.
I don't know. At this size, I can right now.
Man?
But low key, the old boy still got hands. But no, I would absolutely like address that. Like, yo, and it's just not even addressing. It's letting them know what you're at stake to losing. Like, hey, I don't support what you're doing, so I'm gonna check you and tell you how I feel about it. But if you can't fix your shit, don't expect me to be your son no more.
Whoa, you would say that to your dad?
If you're looking at breaking up a happy home,
you would say that to your dad? Nigga, you lying.
Absolutely.
Nah, you full of shit.
I would.
The first part definitely like, bro, hey, come on, you can't be cheating on my mom. I'm with you. If one of y'all cheated on y'all wives, I'd be like, I ain't gonna tell her, but I'm like, damn, nigga, you gotta tighten up. You got 3 kids.
Absolutely.
You know, like, tighten up. Now, what I say, you not my son no more. I mean, I'm not your son no more.
I won't even say it like that. I think I would distance myself. At that point, I would look at him differently. So you wouldn't give a fuck?
I just think it's not my position. It's not my place to say anything. What I'm supposed to talk to my dad? Are you crazy? What the fuck are you talking about?
So what you mean? He's not able to be corrected?
Not by me, nigga. I don't talk to my dad about that. Are you crazy?
You not? Well, I don't know.
He
That's wild.
is my dad. He coaches me.
Is he above?
Reproach?
Reproach.
That's
exactly.
rude.
Hell no.
Nah, you don't talk to your dad like that.
Dog,
you leave that to somebody else. Let your uncle talk to your dad. Let your mom talk to your dad.
So
that's
Peter,
not your place.
No,
you
nigga, if I
anything.
do some shit
You
incorrect,
won't say anything.
That's not my place.
What if your dad came to you and said, you know what, Peter, our relationship is not working?
Ours and his and mine, or his and my mom?
Yes.
That's his.
And I cheated on her.
What am I supposed to do? I don't have no opinion. What am I supposed to do? That's my dad. That's not my son. That's not my little brother.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think I tell him, listen, you got to go have a conversation with her and figure that out. But at the same time, nigga, I don't agree with how you moving, and there will be repercussions.
And you would expect your daughter to do the same thing if you were married to her mom?
If I did some shit that was fucked up, hell yeah. Like, anybody can check me. Like, my little brother checks me sometimes when I'm wrong. It's not about pride in that moment. It's about understanding that you're putting a lot of shit at stake. A household, kids, investments, nigga. Like, this is years of, planning and coming
STDs
together.
to your mom.
Imagine, him exactly giving your mama an STD, like, because he out here stepping wild.
That's fucked up, but
that is wild.
You give my old girl STD.
Then you gonna put hands on the nigga?
Yeah.
Then Peter, would you put hands on him then?
No.
Nigga said no.
That's not my place.
That's your mom's health.
Dude, that's not my place.
Are you your mom's protector?
No. Those are both my parents.
So you wouldn't protect your mom?
Of course I would.
So not even from her dad?
That's tough.
I mean, from your dad?
That's tough. It is. I think that's tough.
You talk about violence. You sound stupid to me.
Nah, dog. I would have to check my old boy in that sense. Just being real.
Well, I hope you don't cheat on your daughter's mom or anything like that, and she comes split you when she gets old, bro.
And if I did, I respect. Listen, I deserve it. If I ever cheated on my daughter's mom or my wife, she deserved to chin check the fuck out of me.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Save this video.
Tighten up, nigga.
20 years from now.
It ain't gonna happen. I ain't on that type of time.
I hear you.
All right, y'all. I mean, that'll do it. I mean, this was a Shameless Goats.
This is Shameless.
Yo.